chapter 17 and 18, which is the movies component and the movies control for chapter 18. And I'm with my navigator. Please introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, I'm Tom, and I'll be navigating Cebu session today.
Thank you. So yeah, guys, let's continue. So what we're dealing with is the movies list component, and we are implementing the movies list components to the consumer of the functionality in our movie data service components, and the components are meant to be responsive for mainly rendering views supported by the application logic for better user experience. So we'll be carrying on implementing our movies list component and filling the below code. So as you can see, this is my wait, I went to the wrong file. This is my movies list.js. What am I doing? I'm importing React and importing data services and importing React router DOM and all of that. But the main purpose of this chapter is that we add um, a path, which I did in the last chapter. If you can go to my previous video, I talked about adding a new path. Now we're gonna add a new form button, where else it takes us to a certain page. For example, I created this function called clear form. So what it does, it declares a constant named clear form, and then we are assigning a function to the clear form, and the function runs whatever code is inside it. And then for all ratings, it clears the search mode. After that, it resets the first page and then clears the movies list on the screen. So now let's test it on the front end. So as you can see, this is my button, and let's search for a specific movie, for example Dragon, right? We're searching for Dragon. It's gonna search it. We have Dragon, right? If I want to clear this, it will take me to the to page 0, which is the function happening in my movies list.js. So if I clear it, it will show no page. So this is how the function works. I keep going to the wrong VS Code. This is how my clear form function works, and it searches the title and comes with the on change set title, then find the title and display it. And this is my button. This is my clear form button. So the main thing was that, and where is my movies? Yeah, this is my movies list. So it clears the form inputs and removes any filtered movie results, putting the page into a clean state. Then number 2, where we place the button. The clear button is placed in my form block in the section, and we have to describe something else too. It's called use state. Use state is like a React hook that lets me add a state to my functional components, and I have const state and set state. So let me do a quick .js just to show you guys what I mean by that. I'm gonna create a new file called quick.js and just demo it for you so that you get a better understanding. Quickcheck.js. Now we're gonna demo this. Now we're explaining use state. So I declare a variable, I put in this and say state, set state, no, set state, right? Then equals to use state, no, use state, use state. Then we say initial value in our parentheses, initial value, right? Why is it not doing initial value? Right, then this. So let me demo it for you. What am I going to say? The state, what it does, let me just do this. The state is the current value, and the set state is a function to update that value. And then the use state initializes the state with the initial value, as you can see. So let me repeat that. So the state is the current value, and the set state, it updates the value, and the initial value is the it initializes the state with the initial value. So that's how we know that this is a state. And every time we look at our component, we must know that we have use effect and use state. So here, what am I having? I'm having a movies list, right? This movies list is a functional component, and it receives use props. Let me highlight this so that you understand. So this movies is a functional component and receives and uses props. We use the React use state hook to create the movies, search title, search rating, and rating state variables. So the search title and the search rating state variables, they keep track of what a user has entered into the search form fields in the movies list page. So the function that is happening on the front here and here, it's the search rating and the search title. So I'm gonna search another thing also. Inception. Now I found Inception. Where do I get it from? I get it from my movies list components. So I have asynchronous operation. It waits for the operation to complete and then updates. Then I have the use effect, right? It uses asynchronous operation, and after that it returns to page 0, right? After I clear the page, it returns to page 0, and then it goes to the current search. So let's go here. Now it returns to the page 0. Then we also declaring a variable also retrieve next page, and if the current search mode is equal to the found by title is true, it will show the current search mode, and it will find by rating. Why do they say find by rating? Because it is default, it comes from here, all ratings, right? That's how I know. And then else retrieve movies, it retrieves the movies, and then and search the current mode, then the movie data services, then gets all the current pages. After that, it responds with an asynchronous promise, which sets the movies, and then it sets the current page also and sets the entries per page. Then it catches an error of console. After that, it has a cons retrieve ratings, same process, asynchronous operation, waits for the promise to complete and then updates it. Then it shows all the ratings after I've searched for the title. So what does it search? It search for the target value of movies. So let's say killer. It search for it, and that's where the main function is happening. It retrieves the ratings inside it and search for the title and target the value inside the parentheses. So now I have killers and all of that, right? And that's where the main function is happening. Then I have const find by query by asynchronous movies data service, find the query by the current page. The query, they just mean when the user enter a certain thing. For example, a user want soccer, right? That it must come with a response showing the soccer movies and the data. That's what I think, and catches the error. After that, it finds the movies by their titles and set the current search mode, which is the title of what the users have typed in the search bar. So according to my understanding, that's the main thing we must know. We must know what a component is. we must know how the syntax works and how they communicate with each other. And how does my whole process work? What did I do? I went to my app.js. Ne? In my app.js, I imported the movies list from my components, and that's how it appears in my front end. That's how it connects, right? And I have also async functioning for my login page. Asynchronous function for my login page, it returns the movies reviews after the user have searched for the titles and all of that. And then I have also my nav links, so that when the user, they don't have to type on the search bar. Instead, they can navigate to a certain page that they want, for example, contact and movies. Also, for my logout, I don't have to do dash login dash logout. Instead, I just go to my login nav bar and my logout. So as you can see, I have this. I don't need to put a slash inside it. So yeah, that's where these whole stuff are happening. They are happening in my app.js, and my functions for the search target, for the buttons, they are all happening in my movies.list.js. And here I added a path for review. What does it do? It goes and look for the movies ID and returns an asynchronous operation, and the user can add a review showing the user's email and Gmail. So example now, let me log in and put in my real Gmail. You will see my review 89 at gmail.com 890. Now let's submit. We're gonna search for the example movie shooter, right? We have the movie shooter. Now it shows view ratings. That's where the user can add a review. I'm gonna add a review and say it was extremely scary. It was extremely scary. After that, my review has been submitted successfully. How did I do it? I use the path add review, and it lets me add the review and use props and the user. It won't add a review if I didn't log in. So the user have to log in so that it can register the user and put the user's Gmail and review on it. And the movie detail, it looks for the movie's ID and asynchronous operation and uses props. After that, same thing for my login, same thing for my contact page. And then I'm exporting my app. If I don't export my app, nothing will appear. Let's check something. If I don't export this, will I get an error here? Will I get an error? Let's see. Yes, I will get an error because why? I'm not exporting it, which will not allow me to see the front end. So it is important at the end of my app.js or my main.js, I export the files so that it can register it and put it on. So let's see what the error says. The error says attempted import error. App does not contain a default export. So it is important to add a default export, and our app needs to be defined and used. So we have the error in the index.js, it shows us that, but the main thing, we must always look at what is repeated many times. One thing I learned about syntax errors, everything that is repeated in the error, you must look for it. For example, it's talking about my app. Even here, line 12 and line 10 to 12, it shows app. And even here it says import as app. app not found, module has not exported. So I can easily see without even go to AI, there's a problem in my app.js, and it even tells me that I need to import export default app. So yeah, let's do that. Accept, control save. Now it's running perfectly. It's running on my localhost 3000. Now everything is on point. So let's search for that movie and see our review. View reviews. As you can see, it shows my movies. So yeah, guys, that's the main thing about what we learned today. We learned how to add path, we learned how to create components, we learned how the buttons work in our movies list.js, we learned how we can connect our API, we learned how to test our API through what we call Postman, and we deal with our movies DAO. In our movies DAO, we let movies, we declare variables, movies, and export default class and all of that. We fix it, and yeah, we have our reviews also. But now we're working with front end. So yeah, that's where the main things are happening. So this is my file that can actually let me add a review. So what does it do? It looks for the name, which is the prop user name, and the user ID and the movie's ID. With that, I can actually add a review. That's why it wants the user to log in and then add a review. If you don't log in, it won't let you add the review. So yeah, guys, thank you for viewing my YouTube channel, and I hope you enjoyed my content. See you in the next video.